Alright, we're working on the old Ford again. It's late. We got maybe about an hour or two we can work on this, but what I want to do is try and cut the bottom out of that and that one over there. That way we can cut some metal and maybe weld it in, but our main objective, since we don't have much time, is just cut that out. I don't know, we air chisel it or use a cutting wheel, and then possibly back here cut this little piece out and this one over here. You know what's cool? I noticed this. I noticed it a couple weeks ago, but from the factory they really didn't take much time or worry about painting the backs of these beds. They painted these trucks while they were together. You know, they didn't paint the bed separately and the cab separately. And you can tell because right here, I don't know if you can see that, but there's an L and an M, and that's what they did at the factory to put notes on cars, you know, to tell the assemblers what gets done. And that L and that M stands for the L. This is the color code, and if you notice, it's, you know, it's just barely painted back here. Like I said, they really didn't worry about it, and this is the factory paint job back here. But anyway, the L, it was a two-tone truck, was holly green, and the M was Wimbledon white, and that's what this is. You can barely see the white up here, and then this green is holly green, and that's what it says. Let me come down here so I don't know if you guys can see this, maybe at a different angle or something, but right here where it says color, L and M. So that's interesting. You know, you almost hate to paint over something like that, but it's got to be done. Alright, enough jibber jabbing. Let's get some work done. Alright, I'm under the truck and I'm shooting up into the sky, so you guys might not even be able to see what I'm trying to show you here, but here's the piece down here I'm trying to cut off. You know, it's actually missing here. You know, on this side, some of it's still here, but for the most part, it has to get taken off. Here's what it should look like. I'm trying to show this, but it's I'm reaching out and looking. But anyway, it's just supposed to be a flat plate, so let me see what I can do with that. Alright, yeah, I was able to bend that out of the way with the air chisel, and then just cut off the welds. They're just 2 spot welds, so that was pretty good. And then I just ground it flush. That little horseshoe thing there, that's just to keep the frame from crushing when they tighten the body down. Alright, let's get the other one. Alright, yeah, as bad as it looks, it's actually not too bad. I mean, everything around it's solid. So I was able to get that piece out. It's on the ground somewhere, but it should be smooth sailing from here. Alright, that's all that was left of that one there. I think a little piece over there that's shot off. So, alright, let me get up here. Let me try to get them pieces off the back. Alright, yeah, I was able to get these little tabs they had on here. I could see the weld they did wasn't very good. I was able to get that off with a little antique screwdriver here that you hit on. And ball peen. Same with this side over here. I see what they tried to do here, and I commend them for that, you know, because it does move, it does flex. So I'm gonna do the same thing, maybe just make a little longer piece and weld it a little better. Alright, let me try and get this. I'm not gonna take that reinforcement out. I don't know why it's there, but I'm just going to cut it flush and make it look a little better. Alright, I cut that stuff off the back here and leveled it out a little bit, and then ground down some of the bad welds. I think I might just smear some putty on there and fair it in a little bit. I mean, it looks good, and you're not going to see it, but and this thing is all wavy anyway because they welded a big I-beam inside her, an angle iron, and you know, it's far from perfect, but I can make it look decent. This is what I cut off, some of this. But that's where we're at. I got some wood for the back here. Daddy Dirtbike gave me some mahogany. It's not that wide. It's only 5.5 inches. But I ordered some stainless steel strips and stuff, and I think I can make it work. All right, I'm gonna get it out and lay it out in the bed, see what it looks like. All right. Yeah, I threw the mahogany decking in here just to lay it out and see how it's gonna look. And the way I have it laid out now is it's gonna have a metal strip in the middle. I don't know if you see it starting right here. And I didn't know whether to put the metal strip in the middle or put a piece of wood in the middle. And if I put the metal strip in the middle, then when I come over to the wheel wells, I'll have to cut around them, and then it'll leave a space, and I'll need an 8-inch board, which I'm fine with. You see, the problem I'm running into now is most decks have 8-inch wood, and this is 6-inch. So I'm gonna need I'm gonna have to order another strip of stainless steel. But if I lay it out the other way, with the wood in the middle, I'll do that in a second, then it almost fits in there perfect, and then there'll be 2 pieces over here. But I'm actually cheating because the stainless steel is 1.5 inches, and it's supposed to have a 1/2 inch over here and a 1/2 inch over here, and then just a 1/2 inch gap in the middle for the bolt. But since this, I think that would look kind of silly, because then that would bring my board down to about 4.5 inches, and I don't think it would look right. So I'm going to cheat, and I'm only going to clamp it down 1/4 inch on each side, which I think will be fine. And then we'll go from there. All right, let me lay it out the other way and see how that looks. I'm going to get my buddy Blind John. He's a cabinet maker, and he's going to plane these down. Right now they look a little weathered, but these are mahogany deck boards, and he's going to plane them down for me and route them. So they're going to look good. Now let me lay it out the other way and see how it looks. Alright, here I have a board in the middle. You can see that's the middle of the bed right there, that upright piece. If I do that, then I'm going to have to order 2 more strips, 2 more stainless steel strips. So I think I might do it the other way, just so I don't have to get another strip. See, if I did it this way, then the sides, there'd be 2 boards there instead of one 8-inch. It would be 2 little ones, and then this way there'll be a metal strip down this way alongside the wheel well. And then when you trim it out, you put angle iron all around the sides and stuff, so it'll all be covered. But I don't know, I'll have to set this up and then let the boys look at it, and I'll get a few opinions from them. Alright, it's another day, and I brought you inside here, and here's that plate I cut off. The only thing that was holding it on was you get two little tack welds here. That's all I had to cut out. But this here is I think it was 14 gauge, and the closest thing I had to that was 12 gauge, which is a little. I even wrote it down there, 12 gauge. 12 gauge is just a little bit thicker, which is fine. I mean, it's not that much thicker. You'd even notice it on the bottom of the bed, but it'll actually make it stronger. And another thing, instead of, I had this big piece here. I'm fortunate. I have a steel company. It's a worldwide steel company within 20 miles of me, and I go pick up stuff, and like this big 4x or 2x4 piece. I forgot what it cost. Maybe 10-15 bucks. I don't know, but it's convenient to have that place local. So anyway, I digress. But anyway, I'm going to take this piece, which is 14 gauge, and I'm even going to make it a little longer. I'm going to make it, it only has to be like 4x4 here, and I'm going to make it maybe 4x6, because I have the room under there, and it'll only make it stronger. So I'm going to cut this piece off and make 2 of these. Also, here's that piece that was that went across the back. That's also 14 gauge, and it's almost 2 inches, and then it has an angle. And when I was down to the scrap yard, it's not even a scrap yard, it's a steel yard, I picked up this piece of 2x2 angle, and I'm not going to need all that. I'll probably have to cut. I'll leave maybe a 1/4 inch there, you know, because I hate to waste steel. Even though I could just throw it in there. I mean, this whole piece, this is 6 foot, was about $5, but still, I hate to waste good steel. But anyway, here's a tool that's worth having. It's let me see if I could zoom in on there. I don't know if you guys could read that, but it's a sheet metal gauge and plate steel. You know, and to find out what the gauge is or something, has these little numbers on the side here. Let me put my glasses on so I can see what you guys are seeing. It's a problem with getting old. Okay, that way I know when you're in focus and when you're not. There you go. Okay, but you see them numbers? They're the gauge. Now this piece of steel down here is actually 12 gauge. You just take it and you stick it on the bottom there. You stick it in a hole, and that'll tell you the gauges of steel. So good to have. They're not that expensive. That's probably maybe a $10 tool there. And I'll leave a link in the description. There are 2 kinds of these. Let me go with the other one and show you so you don't make a mistake. Alright, like I was saying, these look identical, but they're actually different. This one here, if it'll focus in, is actually a wire gauge. But this wire gauge could also be used for non-ferrous metals. You know, like I think aluminum and copper and stuff like that. Because believe it or not, the gauges are different between steel and copper and stuff like that. So if you do get a gauge and you want to use it for sheet metal and steel, make sure you get one that says that, sheet and plate, and not a wire gauge. That's your tip of the day. You also have ones like this that welders carry around on their keyring and stuff, but it doesn't have as many I don't know if you call them graduates or what, or gauges. You know, it just has your basic. Like this one don't even have the 12 gauge. It has 14, but it doesn't have 12. But there are all kinds of gauges out there. They're worth having. I think this one here was like $1. Alright. Yeah, by using a straight edge, it helps a lot. It gives you a pretty straight cut. Here's the piece we just cut. And although it isn't perfect, it does give you a close, clean edge. I should have showed you how I cut that. Usually when I have a little piece like this, a small piece like this, I'll cut it on a bandsaw, but I had this big 2x4 foot sheet. But since I have the cutting wheel out and everything like that, I'll show you how I cut this on with my cutoff wheel. All right. Yeah, like I said, normally something this small I would cut with the bandsaw, but since I have the cutting wheel out and the straight edge and everything, you know, I know everybody's gonna say get a plasma cutter, and you know, I don't have a plasma cutter. I don't have room for it, you know, and I don't really think I need one here because I don't really cut steel that often. But and if I bought one, I wouldn't buy a $300 Harbor Freight one. I'd buy a decent Lincoln one, you know. And I don't know what they cost, but you know, it's just an expense I don't need really. But anyway, yeah, what I do is I set it up and put the guide, and this is how I do it. There's 1,000 ways of cutting steel, but and then just put the blade right alongside the thing, and I cut a groove, and then once I think it's thin enough, then I'll just sink it in and just pull it back. So let's see how that works out. Let me put my hearing protection on. You guys do that too, and your glasses, and let's see how this works. Usually when I get towards the end and I start to see it bend like that, it's usually a heavier piece, and then I'll just I'll bend it off like that so it doesn't fall on my toes. So that's how we do it. Alright, here's another tip. You know, every shop has Sharpies, you know, your regular Sharpie and then, you know, your bigger one. Our buddy Jim sent us this. Not too fast for you to see. Sent us that. We use that all the time. But a lot of guys don't even notice it one exists. Look at the size of this one compared to the other two. It's like 3 times the size. But what this is good for is if you want to scribe a line and you don't want to use the Dicom, you know, that's that blue machinist stuff. This thing has a big fat tip on it. It's about 5/8 of an inch, and then all you do is you can cover a whole lot of space in hardly any time, and then a couple seconds it's all ready to scribe. You know, not like the Dicom where you have to wait for it to dry. I don't know if you can see that line, but it comes up pretty good. So that's just another little tip for you guys. Sharpie Magnums. They don't pay me to say that. They're only about I guess $3 to $5 or something. As you buy them in bulk, maybe 3 or 5 at a time. Alright, let me cut a little bit off here. Alright, I got you on the long. You're about 15 foot away now, so you can see this whole thing. Alright, I took that piece of 2x2 and cut off about 1.5 inches. So I saved that steel. And now I have an edge here. And that's going to fit right in here. It's a tight fit, but if I let it go, it'll fall in. But anyway, you probably ask me why not put it on the outside, because it's a 2x2 piece and the hole here is 2 inches. So I'm going to grind this edge down maybe 1/8 of an inch, you know, so I still have my good edge here. And then I just weld that on the inside. I won't even have to clean it up because it's going to be under the bed. You won't see it. And what's nice about this is I can get to this. I don't know if you can see my hand, but I can get under this and undercoat it all, so it'll all be rust proofed. So that'll work out for me. Hardest part of this is going to have to make it level with this other one, which really shouldn't be too hard. Just get a clamp and put it on here, and that'll hold everything flush. Even this weld here is going to get covered by wood, but I probably will make that a little flat. This here's probably a little wonky too. So that's what we're going to do there. Now let's go inside the bed there and see how our little flat plates are doing. Alright, you guys got the long shot again. You're outside the bed. Here are them plates I made. I rounded the edges off because we don't want nobody cutting themselves under there, especially me. Like I said, I made these 2 inches longer than they should have been, and they're going to go right here. And I don't know if you can see it, but I got about 1/8 of an inch overhang here. These were just spot welded in, 4 little spot welds, and I left it a little bit exposed here, a little proud, and I'm just going to run a bead along here. That way I don't have to get on my back or nothing like that, or plug any holes or anything. And then also, I got this, looks like 3/4 inch black iron pipe, scrap I had. That's going to go inside here to replace that horseshoe that's under there. And I had to cut that. It's good that I got to cut this little section out here so I can actually cut and fit it after I cut this out and slide it in. Because right now it's a little too long, maybe about 1/4 inch long. So I can cut that down on the sander and make it nice and square, and then put it in from here once I cut that out. So, all right, so we got a couple pieces cut out. It's going to be dark in about 45 minutes. So. Yeah, that'll strengthen that up too. See right now that flexing? That shouldn't flex. So that'll tighten that up. So I guess that's going to be enough for this one, huh? Alright, enough of this.